So this is part B of finishing the rugs. This is the open penny, and that's the finish I used on the original teaching rug. And also, with many mistakes on the second kit for the class, which is the 2 sets of candle mats. And this one has a wool base, and both of them are done differently. Now, back in 2015, I did the Avery rugs. They were named after Avery, of course, my grandson, and it was Avery's Teardrop and Avery's Favorite. And that is the first time that I've used this technique for the open penny, and I've described it quite well in the videos I've done. I've done it in parts, and I've done everything from the stitching to the stacking to the edge and to the complete finishing of the rugs. So I'm going to put those on the group. They're not going to be on this video on YouTube, but I'm going to put the links to those videos because they show you 2 different ways to do this open edge with a cotton base, and they also show you some other things that you probably will find interesting, like the teardrop and that sort of thing. So I'm not going to go in great detail in this video how to do it. The only thing, there are a few things that I want to mention that was happening in the videos from 2015 that I don't do now. One of them is I use masking tape. I put 2 pieces of masking tape, and then I use that as my edge to cut. Well, the masking tape is 3/4 inch masking tape, so 2 pieces is equals to the 1.5. And the other thing is, when I show you on the Avery rugs how to do this part, the point, this one is the same, but this one I now do a little chopped off point rather than taking a point, because it's much easier. So I show you how to do the point in the Avery videos, but I will show you just how to do that one here. The other thing is, I don't mark on masking tape with cotton. I don't use masking tape with cotton. I use a ruler and I use a pen, as I will show you. And of course I used all pins. I don't baste in the Avery rugs, and now mostly I base. Not all the time. It's whenever it's convenient. Whenever I don't want a lot of pins in the way of my stitching and that sort of thing. The other thing is, in the Avery rugs I use the top penny first. I stitch the top penny. Now what I do is I put the pennies together. I do a couple little stitches there, and then I put the pennies on. So my top penny, I don't need a stick pin, and it's always there, and it's in the right place. So I'm going to show you how to do that open edge, but in the Avery rugs I just show you how to do it with the 1.5 inch. These pennies are going to be 1 inch. They're 1 inch, and we're going to have it with 1 inch edge. And then if you want to do a rug and you have a 2 inch penny, then I'm going to show you how to do that too in the next part of the video. So as I mentioned, I do have the video for the Avery's rugs, the Teardrop and the Favorite, and that has a very nice detailed set of videos on how to do this open edge. Now, those videos, there are 2 different ways to do it, and one is, let's just take, one is an edge that's not finished. This edge is raw, and that that's fine. I mean, you can do that. You can put your pennies in, and you're only going to see a little part of the edge there. You're just going to see that little part there, and it's not going to hurt anything. So if at any time you need to do that, you don't have enough material or something like that, just the one fold is fine. I'm going to show you how to do the two fold, which is this way and then fold again, so that you have a folded edge there and no raw edges. Now, in the Avery videos, I used masking tape. I don't do that anymore. And I wanted a way to show you how to do this edge no matter what size penny you was using. This one is a 1 inch. The Avery rugs is a 1.5 inch, and in that I used 2 pieces of 3/4 inch tape. And I don't tape on cotton anymore. I do the pen, my pen. So I've thought about it, and I sort of have a formula that I'm going to show you so that it's easy for you to remember. And I'm going to have these sets of formulas, if you will, posted as still pictures. They're going to be posted on the website, on the group, sorry. So if you forget and you're doing say a 1 inch or a 1.5 inch or a 2 inch rug and you want an open edge, then you can just go in and look for the one and find out how to do it. So this is the formula. There. And this is for a fold down and then fold again. So you do the penny size, which is 1 inch. And you don't do 1 inch from in here. You do the penny size of 1 inch. And I have a line there. That's my pen, and that's what I use. From that 1 inch, you add another 1/2 inch. So it's whatever size penny, it's that width, and then you add a 1/2 inch. You fold the 1/2 inch almost to the edge, a little bit less. You can see a little bit less. And then you fold it again. You pin or baste, and then you will add your pennies. And it comes right to, can you see that? Right to the edge, right there. Just a little tiny bit. So you have a good, solid material base there to stitch your pennies. So if you're doing the 1.5 inch, it's the same. The penny size, 1.5 inch. There. And it's kind of difficult. 1.5 inch. There. And then my 1/2 inch. So it's the same size penny plus a 1/2 inch. That's how much you cut from your base when you're doing that open penny. 2 inch, the same. 2 inch. I have these on with Scotch tape and they move. So I have the 2 inch plus the 1/2 inch. So that's the formula, if you will. The size of your penny plus a 1/2 inch. Make sure your penny is not in between. Make sure it's in a row penny. Now what happens if you don't like to see the stitching on the back? Well, you need to line your rug, of course, and I've shown you how to line it. This octagon type rug, I've shown you how to do that, and I'm going to show you how to do it with the binding. It's the same thing. So essentially, when you're lining this type of rug with a binding or with a fold back, as I did in my other one, which I don't know where it is right now, you cut your binding, your lining, sorry, the same size as your rug. You don't do this with an open penny. You cut it larger. And I'm going to try and show you. So your formula is the size of the penny plus a 1/2 inch. When you're doing your lining, you just reverse that. Now I have a 1/2 inch here. I'll show you 1/2 inch. So I'm going to pretend that I'm lining this. So I've cut this, I haven't folded it over, I've cut it, and it's going to look like that. It's been cut. Okay? It's nothing folded over. You put your lining material after you cut this edge. Do your lining material. You put your rug on top. I know it's difficult, but I'm not going to line this rug because it's too much. Okay, you put your rug on top. This is cut, raw edge. And you just reverse the formula. You now have a 1/2 inch. This is the size of your penny, which is a 1 inch. Reverse it if you're going to do a lining. So you cut your lining 1 inch, size of your penny 1 inch, size of your penny 1.5 inch or 2 inch, larger than the top of your rug that you've cut with a raw edge of 1.5 inch. You've left a 1/2 inch there. Okay, so then you're going to fold it this way and fold it this way, and then you're going to have a nice backing, and that's what you put your pennies on now and stitch, and your stitching on the back is gone. Now if you're doing a this, you would leave 1/2 inch, and then you would, I think this is the one for, that might be the 2. My apology for the little glitch. Just before this part of the video, I had to change batteries in my camera. So, as I was saying, if you're going to line your rug, you reverse the formula, 1/2 inch, oh, wrong way, 1/2 inch, and then your, this is for a 2 inch, so we'll just pretend that's 1.5 inches. Then I have it folded over, but you're going to have to judge. You don't fold it over the whole way, just as you don't fold over this one the whole way. You see, I just fold it almost to the edge. I have a little bit up there. So you fold this over as much as needed. This is your lining, 1/2 inch, and this is the size of the penny. That's the only way that I can give you to cut it. But when you fold it over, you don't fold it in half. You fold it, and you have to check with your pennies. You have to put your penny in and another penny in, and it has to come, let's see if I can get this up. You have to fold it so that there, the edge is just a little above, let's see, a little above where the 2 pennies meet, not too much. You can actually have it very close there and not see any of the I may have that not folded back enough. But then that's how you'd fold it. So by using the formula, you will have enough on your lining material. It's just that you have to be careful when you fold it, that you fold it, you don't fold it in half. You fold it so that it's going to work with your pennies that you put on. And that's only if you do the lining. If you do the open with no lining, then you reverse it, your penny, and you can tell it's after 4 o'clock, can't you? Nothing goes right after 4 o'clock for me. So it's the size of your penny plus a ½ inch if you're not lining. Then you fold it a bit less. You see, a bit less, that's quite a bit less. And fold it over. And the less that you fold it is to make it work with the edge, because now you may not have a straight edge. Your pennies may be out like mine are there. They aren't stitched, but they are this way, I guess. They are definitely out, you can see. And that's why that's not working too good. So you can kind of fix if your pennies are stitched and they're out of line, you can sort of fix it when you do your fold overs. Now, as I say, I will have these as still photos on the group, so you could just go in and remember the formula. Now, if you are doing a wool, it's a different. If you have an open penny base with a wool, you need to cut your wool, as I mentioned in the previous video, and make sure that you cut it, because this is wrong and these are back too far. So I've cut it too far back on this one, and I could say that it was on purpose, but I'm not quite sure that it was. I think I just made a mistake. When you have an open penny, instead of the formula that you're using for your cotton, in an open penny wool base, half the size of the penny, it's only half the size of this penny, half the size, so that's 3/4 inch. I'm using 1½ inch penny, 3/4 inch, plus 1/8 to 1/4 inch larger than that half a penny, just so that you're sure you have enough material. It's always better to have more than to do what happened with me and have less. So it's half the penny from here. So I would have 3/4 inches, and then just a tad more, like between 1/8 to 1/4 more, and that is cut off. Now, unfortunately, I don't have anything to show you made that I can do that, but I do have my very first kit was the candle mats, and I have quite detailed videos for that, and I show you how to do that with masking tape. And this is where you use your masking tape. You can't, I can't use my pen on the wool, it doesn't work. So you use your masking tape, and then you measure on your masking tape. If you have a 1/2 inch masking tape, you'd use 2 pieces, as I'm showing you in the Avery rug video. You put 2 pieces down. So anytime that you need to mark on wool, use the masking tape, but remember that you need to take the sticky off. Make sure that it's not going to pull your wool when you pull it back. So that is how to do the edge. I hope I've done it so that you can understand it. As I say, I think you will understand it once you see the the Avery rugs, and I'm just going to stop now and get this ready to cut. If you remember, we need to cut these ends to look like that, and these we fold over. So I'm going to show you how to do that in the next part of the video. So this is the diamond mat, like this one. I'm not going to make it a large mat, I'm making it smaller, and I'm ready to turn back the edges. Now, as I've told you in the previous video, it's the size of the penny plus a ½ inch to turn back over. So when you're doing your penny, make sure that you don't put your penny in here where you're going to stitch it and do it. It has to be straight. So I have 1 inch, and now I need a ½ inch here, and then I'm going to cut it. So I'll do that and I'll be right back. So I now have my inch line, and then I have my ½ inch. Now I'm going to fold this over, and with these it's a little bit difficult because it's cut on the bias. When you have your fabric cut on the bias, it tends to stretch a bit, but I have these done. I'm going to fold it over, not quite to the ½ inch, just a little bit less. You see that? And I do want to say that on the videos where I have them, where I have these, is the Avery's Favorite and the Avery's Teardrop. On those videos, I told you to mark, to put your pennies on, and then mark where it should go, and that's like this. But you really don't need to do that because you just make your 1 inch and then you have your fold over. Okay, I'm going to fold it over, and then I fold it over again. This isn't a straight side, as you can see, it's out. So just do it as best I can. I don't want to go over that 1 penny. And then I would baste it. Now, we come to the points. You have these points, and then you have the long point. And the long point is where you have your fabric to the half the penny, and then fold it down. These are just simple fold overs, and they should be in the half of the penny. Now, where I went wrong, as I told you, I made, this is the new kit, and where I went wrong, look how bad that one is. It almost doesn't have anything to stitch to, and the same with this one. So in this one I cut too small, and you always do half of your penny plus a little bit extra, 1/4 to an eighth to a 1/4 inch extra, and I'll show you how much I'm out. Let's put it on a penny here. See how much I'm out? That should have come out another 1/4 inch. So be very careful of that, because with the wool you can't do anything once it's cut. That's it. With cotton, you have a little bit of wiggle room here with your folds that you can change it, but not with the wool base. So, okay, I have started to baste this, and we're going to do this one. We're going to do the top and the bottom, the top and the bottom. And it's really very simple. It's just a fold over, like that. Whoops. A fold over like that. And you don't have to worry about having these neat, because no one's going to see them. The penny's going to be there. The only thing you need to worry about is that it's going to fit nicely on that penny, and it does quite nicely. You have to adjust it a little bit, but there, it's pretty good. So those are the way to do those, and I would just go along and baste this. You're not stitching it, you're just basting, because the pennies are going to be stitched to it. So it's just a fold over, and I'm basting to hold it while I'm stitching the pennies in place. But now on the end, which is this, we fold it, and it comes to a point, but you need to take that point off, and that should be taken off a bit better there. Oops. These should be taken off. So you need to take the little tip off. And how much? Well, I'll show you on the other side when I do it how much. So we have it folded and fold it down, then fold and fold. So that's what it looks like, and that's what you're going to baste, and then your penny is going to come here and fit. Whoops, not even in the camera. Okay, your penny comes there, folds like that. You cut the tips off. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and iron this. I have this one ironed, so I'm going to iron this, and then I'll show you how to cut the tip off. So I'm going to show you now how to do the points. And this one I show you in the Avery videos, but this one, it's very simple. I have my fold over. I have my fold over. Oh, well, and then I have my fold over. Fold over twice on one side. I had this ironed this way, so, and then fold over again, and then you have your point, and your penny will fit, and you just have to adjust it a little bit, and it will be there. Now on these ends, in the Avery videos I have them to a point, as you will see. This one I have them cut off. So the first one I'm going to show you is how to cut it off. And where do you cut it? Well, these first folds, do you see them? First folds up there. Whoops, sorry. Here's your first two folds. Somewhere very close to the tip of that fold, you would cut it off. And then you fold your flaps in. I had this ironed, and now it won't work. So you fold those in, fold this down, not very much, fold it in, and that should be ironed, and in again. There we go, and that's your flat one. And remember, there are two pennies here touching, and then this is what happens, and it has the flat. Now that should be a little bit smaller because I don't have that iron good on the end there. That should have been turned down a little bit more. But that's how you do fold down, down, in, and in. There. Okay. Now, if we're doing a point, we do need to cut it off, to cut this excess off a bit. But this is how I do it. I fold it, and I do this with the iron. Oh, sorry. Hold this, and I fold this down, and then I fold this down. And you have your fold. I hope you can see how to do this. You have your fold. You have your two folds and your two folds. And you have your point. Now the thing is, you have to cut in here. So, and I'm quite sure I show you how to do this on the other video. So, just going to go in here and cut a little bit. I'm not going to cut exactly up in that fold. There. So then I open it up and fold down. There. Nice and neat. I cut it one way and then I folded it back the opposite way, so there's no raw edges or anything showing, and that would be the point. So now I'm going to go ahead and base this. To be honest, I think I'll just put the pins in and put the pennies on. I'm going to finish this video on how to do this because it's going to come out exactly the same as this one. The only thing I do after I have this basted or pinned is I just put my pennies on, baste or pin if you want, and have them touching. This is not a flat surface. I've got the kitties under here, so I just put my pennies on like this. And I show you this. The reason I'm not actually doing this and finishing it in this video is because I show you step by step with those Avery rugs how to do this. And my point. So I would baste or pin all of those and make sure that you're checking with your straight edge to have them even. And then you just stitch. I'll do the same stitch as this one all around. Now I'm not going to finish the video with that done. I will have this finished rug in the onion dye video, because that's when we're going to use this rug. And just to save time and so I can get these videos published and for you to look at them and understand how to finish your rug, I'm just going to eliminate that part of the stitching, and you will see it finished in the onion dye video, and you will see step by step how to do them in the Avery videos. The only difference is that I'm using 1 penny and this stitch, and I'm not using stick pins, or not very often using stick pins. The other thing in the videos is I always do the first penny, the larger penny first, and you'll see that in the Avery videos. Now I put the 2 pennies together and I do a few stitches, so that when I would be laying out a rug, my 2 pennies would be together, and I would baste them and do the rug, instead of the Avery rugs doing the first one and then going back and doing the second one. So I hope that's clear how to do that. I've had problems with my camera, So I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible. And if there are any problems, please let me know on the group, and I will do a video and explain whatever is needed. The next video is going to be the binding, and that's part C. And I also have very good video on finishing your rugs with binding, just about everything that you need to know. So I'm going to do very much the same thing as I've done here. I'm not going to do the whole thing. I'm going to show you what I've changed from my video that is on YouTube from years ago to what I do now. And that will be the next video.